It's rainy season, which means it's nothing but rain. And this happens every year. And it does have some inconvenience associated with it. But overall, I like it. I like the peacefulness of a steady rain on a quiet day. And I'm stuck inside this morning, in part because it's rainy, but also because yesterday my rear bicycle tire blew out just as I was about to leave for work. And I can fix it easily enough, but I need a new tire. And I'm currently waiting for the delivery man. And I've done as much prep as I can to be ready for when the actual new tire arrives. And I've been doing other things, catching up on bookkeeping. I've been working on writing a blog post, been working on my business plan. I've been doing all kinds of things this morning, just doing my best to be productive and make the most of the morning. But today is also one of the days when depression is kind of doing its thing, and rather than just let it slowly pull me down into a malaise, I'm going to try something different. So, let me talk about some of the things that I sincerely love about where I live. Not just Japan, but my neighborhood too. I like the architecture around here. I like that there's a big mix of new and old. And yeah, some of it's pretty boring, all these gray and beige boxes. But you never have to look very far to find older houses, things with more traditional looks. And I wouldn't argue that one is better than the other, but I like having both around. I like that I can walk pretty much everywhere, anytime I want. Everything I need is nearby, and it's a very walkable area. Granted, there's not always sidewalks, but it's not much of a problem, I've found. Also, there's this weird horse in my neighborhood, and I don't know why. But it's a good place to live. Everything I need, all the groceries, doctors, stores, things of recreation, shrines, temples, anything I want, everything is nearby. And I can get there on foot. I like that. This is my grocery store. It's called okay, and it's okay. But it's wonderful in that it's got most of what I need. The prices are usually pretty good. And it's very convenient. Maybe a 5-minute walk from my house. That's nice. In Japan, getting around by bicycle is a completely normal thing that people do all the time, and there's bike parking all over the place. Very convenient. Container gardens, or at least what I call container gardens. People who don't necessarily have a place for a traditional garden. Most people don't have yards here, but people do have, the little margins of the property, little spaces outside where they can fill every last inch with plants in pots. And people really go for this. It adds so much interest and variety to the urban environment. The way that people choose plants that they like, or things maybe even that they grew accidentally, who knows? But you just wind up with a few plants at first, but then the containers keep multiplying and it becomes this wonderful thing. And sometimes it's chaotic. Sometimes it's complete green madness. Sometimes it's much more organized. But either way, I really like this aspect of Japanese urban life. You see it quite a bit. Shrines, Shinto shrines, are everywhere. And pretty much without fail, I find them to be very peaceful places, very beautiful places. I visit at least one pretty much every day, often more. And in particular, the shrine in my neighborhood is a place that's very special to me. It's a place that I first visited by accident, my very first night in Japan. not knowing that years later I would move to this neighborhood. And it's just a wonderful place for me. But it's not just this place, it's shrines in general. I love these places. Trains. I love the trains in Japan. They are efficient, they are clean, they are on time. No, they are not perfect, they're not on time all the time. You know, I used to live in Chicago, and the trains in Chicago they're fine. I like the trains in Chicago. But the trains in Japan, they're just on a different level. And I don't ride them nearly as much as I used to. Back when I was commuting into Tokyo every day, I would spend about 3 hours a day on these trains. Now I ride my bike to work, so I take the trains maybe 2 or 3 times a month. But no matter how often I take them, I never fail to appreciate the fact that the whole system works so well. And it's not without its problems, but show me something that isn't. The trains, they just work. And the fact that the trains work so well, that's a major contributing factor to satisfaction with daily life for me in Japan overall. And of course, there's a lot more to the things I love about where I live in Japan than just these things, but there's a little sample for you anyway. People often remark that one thing that really can contribute to happiness in our daily lives is gratitude, and I suppose that's what this is in a way. And I gotta tell you, after spending entirely too long trying to throw this video together, and spending a lot of time thinking about some of the things that I really do appreciate every day in my life, I find myself feeling better. Life can be quite difficult, and my life certainly could be vastly worse, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't have stress or, my ongoing struggles with depression weren't a daily thing that I wrangle with. But the fact is, we all have the things that get us down, that we struggle with, whether our life is going terribly or even if it seems to be going pretty well. There's always something. And I like that if we spend a little time focusing on the things that we love and appreciate, that can really help us out. Really helps us. And if you are seeing this version of the video, that means you are on YouTube. And that's great. Thank you for that. If you want to see this, more of this, whatever this is, subscribe, hit like, keep the algorithms on my side. And you can follow my everything, my blogs, my blog posts even, videos, other little bits on my blog at aliatorist.com/focus. There's a link in the description. Also linked in the description is my Patreon, where you can see all the videos, read all the blog posts, and a bunch of other stuff early and ad-free for just a few bucks a month. More if you want, but that's not necessary. So check that out. That link is in the description as well, but that is patreon.com/focusshift. There you go. Thank you for watching. And I'll be back. I assume. I hope you'll be back too.